Hey everyone, welcome back to Islamic Discovery Case. Today, we're diving into a heavy but important topic. Is China still doing that Muslim genocide thing? Did they succeed or what? We're talking about the situation with the Uyghurs in Xinjiang, China, a Muslim ethnic group that's been at the center of global human rights concerns for years. I'll break down the history, what's happening now based on the latest reports, the Chinese government side, and whether success even applies here. Stick around because this affects global politics, supply chains, and how we think about human rights. If you're new, hit that subscribe button and turn on notifications so you don't miss out. Let's get into it. First off, a quick background for context. The Uyghurs are a Turkic Muslim minority living mostly in China's Xinjiang region, which they sometimes call East Turkestan. They've got their own language, culture, and history, but tensions with the Chinese government ramped up in the 2000s, especially after riots in 2009. By 2014, China launched the Strike Hard campaign against violent terrorism, which critics say targeted Uyghurs broadly under the guise of fighting extremism. What followed were reports of mass detentions in so-called re-education camps, where over 1 million people were allegedly held, subjected to indoctrination, forced labor, and worse. Organizations like the UN and human rights groups have called this crimes against humanity, and some, including the US government, have labeled it genocide. Now, fast forward to 2025, is this still happening? According to multiple recent reports, yes, the repression is ongoing, though it's evolved. The United States Holocaust Memorial Museum's February 2025 report states that all the policies leading to mass atrocities continue, with some even expanding, like intense surveillance, restrictions on religious practices, and the destruction of cultural sites. They point to new evidence of boarding schools and prisons being built or expanded since 2019, based on satellite imagery and Chinese state documents. These boarding schools aim for 100% enrollment of middle school kids from minority groups, separating them from their families to promote assimilation. On top of that, forced labor programs are a big part of it now. A New York Times investigation from May 2025 details how China transfers tens of thousands of Uyghurs from Xinjiang to factories across the country, making things like rubber slippers, car parts, and food products. These programs are officially about poverty alleviation, but experts say they're coercive, designed to reshape Uyghur identity and break resistance to Chinese rule. Radio Free Asia reported in February 2025 that around 500,000 Uyghurs are still in prisons or detention, and nearly 3 million were in forced labor in 2023 alone. Birth rates have plummeted to near zero due to strict controls, including forced sterilizations, which fits patterns of cultural erasure. Surveillance is everywhere too, cameras, AI, DNA collection, making everyday life a nightmare. Recent X posts from activists highlight this, like a timeline simulation showing how repression built up from bilingual education in the 2000s to full-on control by 2025. And in July 2025, US Congress introduced bills for more sanctions on Chinese officials involved. But let's hear the other side. The Chinese government flat-out denies any genocide or abuse. In a February 2025 press conference, Foreign Ministry spokesperson Lin Jian called these claims a sheer lie of the century, insisting Xinjiang is stable, economically booming, and harmonious, with people living better lives. They frame the camps as vocational training centers that have mostly closed, and labor programs as voluntary job opportunities to fight poverty and terrorism. China points to economic growth and invites foreign visitors on guided tours to show happy Uyghurs, though critics call these staged Potemkin tours. Internationally, responses are mixed. The US, Canada, and others have sanctioned China and banned imports linked to forced labor. The UN held events in 2025 discussing ongoing atrocities, and groups like Human Rights Watch keep pushing for accountability. But some countries stay quiet due to trade ties with China, and global outrage isn't as loud as for other issues, like how The Atlantic noted in January 2025 that China grandstands on Gaza while repressing Muslims at home. So did China succeed? It depends on what you mean. If genocide means total extermination, no, the Uyghur population still exists, around 12 million. But if it's about destroying a culture, identity, and way of life, as the Genocide Convention defines it, many experts say yes to a large degree. Birth rates are down, families are broken, language and religion are suppressed, and millions have been assimilated through labor and education programs. From China's view, they've succeeded in stabilizing the region and integrating it economically. But the human cost is immense, and reports show it's not over, it's just shifted forms. That's the rundown, folks. This isn't ancient history, it's happening now, and it ties into everything from your phone's supply chain to global power dynamics. If you want to help, check out organizations like the Uyghur Human Rights Project or Campaign for Uyghurs, support their work, spread awareness, and push for ethical sourcing. What do you think? Has the world done enough? Drop your thoughts in the comments below. If this video informed you, give it a like, share it with a friend, and subscribe for more deep dives on world issues. Thanks for watching, stay curious, stay informed. Peace out.